Welcome friends. Now we will have a new session from the paper Methodology of Teaching Natural Science and discuss upon Planning of Instruction. Planning of Instruction Part 1. The title Planning of Instruction comprises of 4 subtopics which are Objective Based Instruction, Levels of Planning, Lesson Planning and Lesson Plan Preparation based on Behaviorist and Constructivist format. Let us start with Objective Based Instruction. Objective Based Instruction. In the modern approach to education, the total educative process is interpreted in terms of 3 interrelated aspects: objective or outcome, learning experience and evaluation. This relationship is best represented by what is known as first paradigm. Now we will examine each one by one and the way these 3 are related. You have studied and realized that education is the process of effecting desirable changes in the behavior of learners. In order to effect the desirable changes in the learners, first we should formulate explicitly the ways in which they are expected to be changed by the educative process. Let us have a look at some of the statements given in the front page of your B.Ed syllabus. It is written that the prospective teacher understands the meaning, need and significance of education, understands the current issues and challenges of Indian education, understands the developmental processes, needs of children and adolescents and role of teachers in facilitating developments, etc. What are these statements? These are statements describing some of the changes we expect to see in you after you have completed the B.Ed program. Consider one of the statements I have just shown. It means that after you have completed the B.Ed course, you will understand the developmental process of the children and adolescents, their needs and the role of teachers in facilitating developments in them. We expect that change in you after your course. These type of statements describing the desirable changes after education are called educational objectives. In other words, we can say that educational objectives are statements which describe the learner's behavior or what the pupil is expected to do after education. All educative processes expect these type of objectives or outcomes. Classroom instruction aimed at the attainment of educational objectives is called objective based instruction. There are several stages before we start the classroom instruction. Consider one of the statements of National Policy on Education. It states that science education programs will be designed to enable the learner to acquire problem solving and decision making skills and to discover the relationship of science with health, agriculture, industry and other aspects of daily life. Broad general statements of desired educational outcomes like this are determined at the policy making level. Education commissions of each country, taking into account different aspects like the psychological levels of child, the economic conditions of the nation, the philosophy of life of the community, cultural heritage, etc., proposes such desirable outcomes which should be brought out as a result of education. In order to realize or achieve the broad educational objectives, specialists from various fields such as educationists, economists, psychologists, sociologists, etc. together formulate the objectives for different stages of the educative process and evolve a suitable curriculum plan. From these stage-wise objectives and the curriculum plan, the subject-wise objectives and syllabi in individual subjects are developed. I will elaborate this further. The broader aims of education are formulated by the education commissions of each country. In order to achieve the broad aims, different committees will be formed comprising of experts from various fields like I said before. The committees then formulate stage-wise objectives and curriculum plan. For example, curriculum for schooling up to 10th standard. From these, then the subject-wise objectives are formulated. What is to be taught in science, mathematics, social studies, etc. Once these subject-wise objectives are made, then syllabi for individual subjects can be formulated. Even the topics to be included in the syllabus and the scope of each topic are decided on the basis of the ability of the topics to contribute to the realization of the overall objectives of education. The specific objectives of a subject are called instructional objectives of that particular subject. After the formulation of the objectives, which are the statements describing the desirable and expected changes in the behavior of learners, now the question is, how do we attain these objectives? The answer is through learning experiences. Learning occurs when the learner has an experience, that is, when learners react to a situation in which they find themselves. Learning results from this kind of active participation of children in the stimulus situation which the teacher provides in the class. Learning experience refers to any interaction, program or other experience in which learning takes place. These are planned with the specific purpose of producing the desirable behavioral changes in the learner. You should note that learning experience is not a part of the syllabus, but is the interaction of the learner and the situation provided by the teacher. The teacher redesigns the content part with teacher activities and student activities. That is, the teacher's job is one of selecting and setting up the kinds of experiences which lead to the attainment of any given educational objective. A lecture, a scientific activity, a nature trip, a video film, a home assignment, all these are learning experiences through which the learners learn. Each of these learning experiences modifies the behavior of the pupil. For example, in order to teach the concept tropic movements of plants, a teacher can ask the pupils to make a list of plants which show any type of movement in response to different external stimuli like water, light, gravity, chemical, touch, etc. Here, the teacher presented a situation to the students through the development of which the students will be learning about a concept. You should keep in mind that a variety of learning experiences for the attainment of a single objective is also possible. Tropic movements of plants can also be taught by direct lecturing or by showing examples in the class or by making students watch a film on that. A teacher's creativity and imagination play a very crucial role here. How do you know that the learning experience you have planned is a good one? Before planning a learning experience, teachers should ask some questions to themselves. Are they directly related to the instructional objectives? Are they meaningful and satisfying to the learners? Are they appropriate to the maturity level of the learners? A good learning experience should have some characteristics. It must be based on the objectives. When objectives change with regard to a particular content, the teacher and student activities also change. Suitable to the mental or cognitive capacity of the learner. The learning experience you have planned might be very good, but if it is above the understanding level of the learners, then it is of no use. It must also be focused towards the learner, enriched with new experiences, meaningful, practical and viable for periodic evaluation. So far we have formulated the objectives which told us what the pupil is expected to do. Then we have presented a suitable learning experience to the pupils to attain the objective. In order to know whether these objectives are achieved or whether the teacher has succeeded in making the expected change, a checking known as evaluation is to be conducted. That is, evaluation helps us determine whether we have succeeded in modifying the behavior of the pupil as envisaged by the objectives through learning experiences. An answer to a question, the skill the student exhibits in recording observations, the way a student applies what is learnt to a new situation, all these are observable and measurable changes. Evaluation is the tool to verify the attainment of the instructional objectives by the learner through the observable and measurable behavioral expressions. Evaluation also determines the effectiveness of the learning experience provided by the teacher. If most of the students could not answer the questions correctly, it shows that the learning experience provided by the teacher was not good enough to make them understand the concept. Steps of evaluation. For evaluation in a classroom setting, there are some steps usually adopted by a teacher. First, the teacher should determine and clarify what is to be evaluated. Then, select a suitable tool like a class test, practical exam, or just ask questions for measuring what is determined at the first stage. Measure it using the selected tool. Compare the result with what is to be expected. As the last step, pass judgment on the basis of the comparison of the actual outcome with the expected. As a crude example, we can say that for a test paper based on any particular topic, if a student answers 8 out of 10 questions, then you can conclude that that particular student understood 80% of what you have taught. Now recall the first paradigm I have shown you before. Based on the objectives, the teachers plan learning experiences. Objectives get clarified by learning experiences. Evaluation shows whether the teachers succeeded in attaining objectives and also gives evidence on the effectiveness of learning experiences. This clearly means that objective, learning experience and evaluation are interrelated. Hope you have understood the three terms and their interrelationship. Now, let us move on to the second topic, levels of planning. Levels of planning. For every activity to be effective, planning is a must. Planning of instruction is the backbone of educative process. As we have discussed before, planning for an educative program takes place at the national, state and local levels. The central and state governments establish legal requirements, regulations for boards of education, frameworks for various areas of the curriculum, etc. We have already discussed the preparation up to the stage of syllabus on a subject. The transaction of the educational content to the students is the job of a teacher. To be a competent teacher, each one of you must plan in advance. So, of critical importance to the total educative process is the instructional planning of the classroom teacher. Teachers need to decide what and how they are going to teach before they do it. The syllabus for a particular subject serves as the basis for planning by teachers. Instructional planning can be done in different levels like year plan, unit plan, lesson plan, etc. Year plan. Year plan, as the name suggests, is the arrangement of various units of a particular subject for a particular grade or standard and the number of periods or class hours assigned for a year. A year plan usually contains the months, names of units, number of periods available to each unit and their objectives. A plan like this helps a teacher in arranging what is to be taught during a year logically and systematically. A good year plan distributes the units of instruction evenly across the months, gives proper weightage to each unit according to the relative importance in the curriculum, acts as a guide to the teacher for the effective and unhurried work of the year, and provides a framework for planning each unit and lesson from time to time. While planning, the teacher needs to consider three main factors. The first is the units to be taught in the subject. The second, the number of periods or hours available or allotted during the year. And third, the total number of periods assigned for each term. See the format of a year plan. Please note that this is just a format. The content, titles all differ in different states. The plan details how many and which units are to be taught in each term month utilizing the stipulated number of periods. A more elaborate plan gives the broader objectives of each unit and also the percentages of marks to be given to each unit for evaluation purpose. Now to the unit plan. Unit plan. There are many units in a subject. The instructional objectives of a subject help in the development of unit-wise objectives, which in turn guide us in the preparation of unit plans. According to Horizon, unit is a large subdivision of the subject matter wherein a principle or topic or a property is central to the well-organized matter. Separate unit plans are required for each unit in the syllabus. A unit plan has the content of that particular unit arranged into different teaching points, the objectives of the unit, important activities and materials needed for the unit. After dividing the syllabus into a number of teaching units, the teachers can then decide the time to be allotted to each unit based on their relative importance. Then, each unit can further be subdivided into a number of lessons. Unit planning helps a teacher in incorporating more integrated and meaningful learning experiences for learners like reading, writing, speaking, listening, dramatizing, experimenting, cooperative planning, researching, reporting, etc. This also helps a teacher in deciding upon the different types of learning aids to be used for each unit, such as audiovisual aids, electronic devices, laboratory equipments, community resources, etc. Keep in mind some points while preparing a unit plan. The first step is the content analysis, the what of the unit. The content is to be analyzed thoroughly to identify important terms, events, places, facts, concepts, principles and processes. The second step is identifying the major instructional objectives, the why of the unit. Necessary importance must be given to various levels of objectives. You have already studied about the three domains of behavioral change: cognitive, affective and psychomotor. The listing of objectives and their specifications helps the teacher plan the learning experiences more effectively. The third point is about learning activities, the how of the unit. Keeping in mind the objectives of the unit, various activities are to be identified for each lesson in the unit, like introductory activities for introducing a lesson or a concept, developmental activities for developing that lesson or concept, concluding activities for concluding the class, and follow-up activities for students to do at home or outside the class. The fourth is about evaluation procedure or the evidence of achievement. Tools and techniques of evaluating the unit must be fixed at the stage of unit planning. Frequent evaluation must be done during each lesson also. You will study later how to prepare an achievement test in its proper format. Take a look at the format of a unit plan. This unit plan has curriculum objectives, the main ideas and concepts connected to the topic, the activities or teacher strategies like group discussions, preparation of statements, etc. that can be used in the classroom to transact the topic and the time allotted for the topic. Another format includes the process skills to be developed in the students like observing, inferring, predicting, etc. Learning materials to be used in the class like textbooks, charts, specimens, etc. The products like notes in the science diary, records, etc. and evaluation procedures. The NCERT has given the description of units in the syllabus of science in a format as this. It includes theme or sub-theme, questions, key concepts, resources and activities or processes. Nowadays, the syllabus, the handbooks and the source books provided to the teachers are having all these details. Please check the handbooks and syllabus provided to the teachers. Please also note that a teacher can take the freedom to modify the format and include whatever she or he wants, which can aid them in the execution of lessons. Advantages of unit planning. A unit plan establishes general as well as specific aims of teaching. It provides the basic structure around which specific class activities can be organized. It enables the teacher to integrate the basic course concepts of a unit into various teaching experiences. Most importantly, it saves time and helps the teacher progress in a systematic and unhurried manner. Now to another topic, resource unit. Resource unit in science refers to a huge collection of science materials and activities related to a particular topic. It serves as a guide for teachers working at different places. The resource units of different topics of a subject are usually prepared by a group of experts and teachers of that subject at a workshop. Elements of a resource unit are title, the title of the topic. For example, photosynthesis, the process and its importance. Second is introduction. In this part, the social, scientific and theoretical basis of the unit is presented. Third, statement of objectives concerned with the theme. The learning outcomes or the expected changes are described here. Fourth one is content analysis. The description of choosing the topic of study with respect to objectives and of structuring and sequential developing of the topic are given under this. Fifth one is activities, direct and related. This contains different activities that aid in the transaction of the topic. Sixth one is teaching materials and sources. Materials which supplement teaching like charts, models, films, periodicals, journals, supplementary readers are mentioned here. Seventh is evaluation procedures. This details evaluative devices in all aspects of appraisal. It can be placement, formative, summative, diagnostic, continuous, comprehensive, etc. Eighth is reference books. Thus, a resource unit contains an organized collection of teaching ideas and suggestions built around a large topic of significance, and it is a reservoir of information for the subject teachers. Now, let us summarize. In this session, we have learnt the meaning of the term objective based instruction and the interrelationship between objective, learning experience and evaluation. Different stages of planning of instruction like year plan and unit plan also have been explained. Later, a small topic on resource unit is also given. Hope I have realized the objective of this module with this talk, which was to acquaint you with planning of instruction. Here are some assignments for you. Remember, this is an example for learning experience. Assignments. Formulate some educational objectives for pre-primary education sector, keeping in mind the needs of the society. Prepare a note on the interrelationship between objective, learning experience and evaluation. Develop some learning experiences to teach the concept the chemical changes of food. Prepare a detailed plan for any unit of your choice from grade 8. Compare it with what is given in the source or handbook for teachers. Read National Policy on Education. For further reading, here are some books for your reference. Science Education, Theoretical Basis of Teaching and Pedagogic Analysis, written by Dr. T.K. Matthew and Dr. T.M. Molikuti, published by Rainbow Book Publishers, Kerala, in the year 2006. Social Studies in the Classroom, Trends and Methods, written by Dr. P.K. Sudesh Kumar and Dr. P.P. Naushad, published by Scorpio Publishers and Distributors, Calicut University, in the year 2006. Teacher's Handbook, Natural Science for Standard 9, published by SCERT, Kerala in 2010. The website of NCERT is very informative. The address is www.ncert.nic.in. Innovative Science Teaching for Physical Science Teaching for Physical Science Teachers, 3rd edition, written by Radha Mohan, published by Phi Learning Private Limited, New Delhi. Thank you for watching the program. Till we meet again, goodbye.